arms relaxing, the weight of the hips resting on the mat. And let's have the knees bent and the feet flat. See if we can allow the head to rest down. Relaxing our breathing and bringing our attention onto our breathing. Letting the belly soften and letting the belly move with the breathing. Exploring releasing at the back of the waist. So not doing anything with those muscles. Allowing our inhale to widen and gently lift our ribs. Letting go with the ribs as we exhale. And when we take our exhale, creating a small movement in our pelvis, and get a tiny tuck at the tailbone as we finish out the exhale. And letting go in the hips when we're inhaling, working with our ribs. So allowing a very small movement to occur along the spine, really not so much trying to lift our spine right now, but moving our ribs, moving our hips. We'll let ourselves do a little more work with our exhale. So we'll get a little more tuck at the tailbone, gently pressing downward at the sacrum. We'll feel a bit more weight through the soles of the feet. And letting go of all of that with the in-breath. So gently, there'll be a bit more movement along the spine. We start to undulate with the spine as we breathe. And have the eyes looking down the top side of the body. And then explore taking the arms straight out to the sides from our shoulders as we work with our breath here. And then bending the elbows and see if you can bring the elbows to 90 degrees, but it's not a requirement. Just finding the place where we can explore that gentle stretching we're creating into our shoulders and shoulder blades, keeping it comfortable. And having a real undulation with our breath along the spine. This upper spine arcing upward with the in-breath. Whenever we have our exhale, releasing down, and then making an effort to flatten at the sacrum. And let's give ourselves one more full breath cycle. And for ourselves, ending with the exhale. Whenever we get there, simply holding the sacrum gently flat to the mat, bringing the breath down into the belly. So that in-breath's going to puff up the low belly. Let the abdomen move downward on the in-breath. And on the exhale, just soften, melt the belly down. And one more breath. And whenever we do finish the exhale, we're going to bring the knees up toward our shoulders. We're going to take our hands onto our knees. Use the hands to hold the weight of the legs. Just adjust the position here so our sacrum's comfortably flat to the mat with no effort. And then looking downward, seeing we can gently lengthen our neck. And we're going to bring our feet into the air, up higher than our knees. We're going to gently circle through our ankles. Just moving the feet freely in both directions. As we're moving our feet here, we'll need to hold a little bit of effort in the hips, keeping our sacrum flat. And now let's change from the ankles circling to moving our feet in circles around the knees, going above and below, out to the sides, changing direction every so often, using our eyes to look down the top side of the body. Use the hands to create a bit of support on the outsides of the legs, maybe just below the knee. And then let's relax the feet down. Bring the hands on top of the knees. Move the knees in toward the chest, about hips width apart. And then again, holding the sacrum flat. So we're not going to curl the hips up. We'll gently have our sacrum flat as we hold the knees closer. And then slide the hands off the knees, come forward onto the tops of the thighs, just below the knees. Lift the feet up a bit, holding the sacrum flat. Push against the knees and have the knees pull themselves toward the chest. Lengthen the neck, looking downward. And then soften the legs. Have the hands come on top of the knees, move the knees wide. We'll just gently circle the legs, coming apart and close together. And we'll change our direction. And then let's bring the knees about hips width apart, hands on top of the knees. Now let the arms lengthen. So we'll straighten the arms, still holding the knees. Find the sacrum, hold it flat. And we're going to soften the hold on the knees and just let them slip away and let the feet land on the mat. And we'll rest the arms on the mat straight out sideways from our shoulders. Relaxing the shoulders, the shoulder blades. Add some weight to the feet so we can have our sacrum feel flat from the inside. And then we're going to bend the elbows to where it's comfortable. Take a moment here to release in the shoulder blades. And we're going to use our right hand. Let's slip the palm underneath the head. So chin's a little tucked here. Resting the weight of the head on the palm. And we're going to work cross body. So initially, just bring that left knee in so the left hand can hold the knee. So relax the leg, use the hand to hold the knee. When you inhale, arc up the back. So the chin's going to tuck a bit. We're looking down at the ribs. Whenever we exhale, release the back down and bring that right elbow and the left knee toward each other, moving them in toward the center line of the body. Let's use an inhale. We'll put the head down. So still holding that left knee, move it away a bit so it's roughly above the hip, and then slide that left hand just down onto the thigh. Now, when you exhale, push hand and knee together. At the same time, press the sacrum flat and look downward. Nice long exhale. When you're done with that, put the foot down, put the arm down, extend the leg, swing the arm out to the side, bend the elbow. Get a moment here where we're going to let go. And then let's bring that knee in again and have the left hand hold the knee. When you're ready to inhale, arc up the back. On the exhale, let's bring the knee, the elbow close. Maybe a breath cycle here if you're comfortable staying lifted up. Returning the head. And then bring that left hand onto the thigh, just off the knee. Push against each other, press onto the sacrum. Do the exhalation here. And then release the leg, release the arm, extending leg, swinging the arm out from the shoulder, then bending the elbow. So we can let go in that left side. And then we're going to repeat. We'll bring the knee in, the hand takes the knee, arcing up the back when we breathe in. And elbow and knee come close together, breathing out. Returning the head when we're ready. Taking the hand just off the knee. On the exhale, hand and knee push together. Sacrum is flat. Finish an exhale and then release the leg out straight. Swing the arm out, up shoulder height, bend the elbow. And then we're going to bring that knee in again. The hand will hold the knee. And then arcing up the back as we breathe in. So look downward. And breathing out, curling up, knee and elbow coming close. Returning the head when we're ready. Hand just off the knee, push hand and leg together, press on the sacrum, finishing the out breath. And then release the leg, extend the arm. The leg is long, we'll have the arm out shoulder height, and then bending the elbow to where it's comfortable. Just letting go for a moment here. And let's step up that left foot. Take the right hand from behind the head. And we're going to pause for a breath with the arms out from the shoulders, elbows bent where we can let go in our shoulder blades. Now we're going to slide our left hand underneath the head. So using the hand, we get the chin a little tucked here, have the eyes looking downward. And then just bring that right knee in, have the right hand hold the knee. So arm is long here, just a comfortable place. Got the weight of the leg. Use an inhale to arc up the back. On the exhale, the knee, the elbow come close, curling up. On the inhale, we'll return the head. We're going to put that right hand just off the knee on the thigh, knee and thigh pressing, sacrum holding flat as we breathe out. And then release the leg. The leg's going to extend, release the arm, sweep it out from the shoulder, then bend the elbow. So releasing that right side, looking down at the chest. And we're going to bring the knee in again. Right hand has the right knee. In breath arcs our back. Out breath, knee and elbow come together. In breath, we return. Hand comes just off the knee, pushing knee and hand together, pressing on sacrum. And then put the foot down, extend that leg, sweep the arm to the side, bend the elbow, and let that right side go for a moment. And then bringing the knee in again, the hand meets the knee. We inhale up. That's an arc in the back. Exhale, elbow and knee come together, come close. We're going to return. And then we're going to push hand and thigh, press on sacrum as we're breathing out. And then leg goes down, arm sweeps out to the side, elbow bends, releasing the right side. And then we're going to bring the knee in again to hold the knee. For the in-breath, arcing the back. And for the out-breath, knee and elbow come close. Let's return them. So knee moves away, hand comes on the thigh, hand and thigh push together, looking down the top side as we press on our sacrum. And then releasing, leg goes long, arm sweeps out to the side, elbow bends. And then let's just step that right foot up by the left. Take the left hand from behind the head. Have the elbows out from the shoulders, have the elbows bent where it's comfortable for the shoulder blades to release. And let's stretch out the arms. So the arms will go straight out from the shoulders. And we're going to step our feet a bit closer in toward the hips. We're going to bring them together, close enough so the knees are touching. When you're ready to move, tip the knees over to the right. Now, keep the knees touching. So it doesn't matter how far the legs go, just keep that contact. Turn the head to the left, looking down the left arm. Turn the right palm in the ground. Rotate a bit further so you feel the right shoulder lift, and then draw the shoulder in toward the center line and reach out just a little further through those left fingertips. Now relax the neck. Let the movement of the arms and shoulders position the head and the neck. Get a little tuck at the tailbone here, just that smallest amount. Feel the energy activate in the core. And then let's release the arms, let the head turn neutral, bring the knees up. So coming back into neutral, just adjust the body. Have a moment where we're released into the mat. So have the knees lightly touching. We'll tip them left, turn the head to the right. Now turn that left palm into the ground. Draw the hand in as you lift that and rotate that shoulder. There's a little reaching through those right fingertips. So neck is released, and it's the shoulders that are positioned in the head and the neck. Just a tiny tuck at the tailbone. Just add some energy in the core. And then release the arms and shoulders. Let the head come neutral, the knees come up. Just pause for a moment. And then we're going to repeat. So right knees lightly pressed together, knees tipping to the right, head turning left. Let's turn the right palm down, rotate a bit further, shoulder lifts, pull the shoulder in, reach out gently through those left fingers. So relaxing the neck. Let that right shoulder blade rotate the head and neck. And then release the arms back to neutral. Let the head come neutral, bring the knees up. Pause here for a moment. Now we'll take our knees to the left, have the head turn right, and let's turn the left palm down, pull the shoulder in, reach out in the right fingertips, just a tiny amount. Release the neck. Check the tailbone, just that tiniest movement at the tailbone. And let's release. Return the arms to neutral. The head comes up. We'll bring our knees up. And just adjust the back body. We're going to be able to release our back onto the mat. And we'll just have another breath. If you're comfortable bending the elbows, you can release into the shoulder blades. And then breathing out, bring the knees up. So we'll hold the knees with our hands. Bring the knees in toward the ribs. Find the place where you can hold the legs and have the sacrum flat. We make a little effort to hold our sacrum. And we just let the low back find a position. So locating our core, our ability to lightly press onto our sacrum, using those deep muscles in the core. Now we're going to cross the wrists, so the hands go to the opposite knee. And then release the right arm. Take it straight up from the shoulder. We've got the wrist bent, so let's rotate all the way through the shoulder so the fingers turn outward, the thumb turns outward, and then we push up in the palm, spread the fingers. Feel the shoulder lift up, the shoulder blade move away from the spine, and then bring the arm down by the ear and push outward. Touch the left heel to the ground and just lightly scrape out the left leg so it's fully extended, and push into the foot, push out with the hand. Use the eyes, look down the top side, see if that left leg will float just off the mat. And then locate the sacrum and keep some contact, full contact if possible, sacrum to the mat. Now we may prefer to rest the leg on the ground and simply press in the foot, whichever one works best for us. And then lengthen the neck, look down the top side of the body. Now we're going to leave with an inhale, bring the leg vertical, the arm vertical. Have a moment when you press up through foot, through hand. Bend the knee, return the hand to the knee. Take a moment to adjust the back body, find the sacrum, have the neck long. Now release the left arm, take it vertical, rotating, pressing upward. And then bring the arm down alongside the ear and push out through that hand. Touch down in the right heel and just lightly scrape out the right leg. Press out in the foot, out in the hand. Connect to the sacrum. Use the eyes, look down the top side. And when we're ready with an in-breath, the leg comes up, the arm comes up. We both press at the ceiling for a moment, and we're going to bend the knee. The hand goes back on the knee. And then again, we release the right arm straight up toward the ceiling, rotate all the way into the shoulder, push up through the palm, spread the fingers, and bring the arm by the ear and push out. Our left heel lands, the leg lengthens. The sacrum, we press it flat, maybe float up the leg, look down at the ribs. Keep working strongly from hand to foot. When it's an in-breath, we'll bring the leg up, the arm up, push at the ceiling, bend the knee. The hand goes back on the knee. And then left arm releases, rotates, pushes up at the ceiling, spreading the fingers, reach through the palm, bring the arm by the ear, press out. Have the right heel touch, slide out long, float the leg if possible, connect to the sacrum. Pushing out through hand and foot. At the eyes, look down. And then with the in-breath, leg up, then arm. Press at the ceiling. And then bend the knee, put the hand on the knee, and then switch the hands back onto their own knee. Take the knees wider. Bring the knees toward the shoulders, relax the legs. Position the legs so the sacrum is naturally flat on the mat. Simply breathing into our belly. And now let's bring the knees close. So lightly hold the knees in contact with each other. And then use the hands and circle the knees. And we're going to shift the weight around the edge of our sacrum. We'll change our direction when we're ready. And it would be common to feel a real difference side to side. Okay, so coming back into center when we're ready. And from here, let's roll onto the side body. So coming over onto the side, position the hips below the shoulders, the knees out from the hips, and the feet down from the knees. So a bunch of right angles here. And then the arms straight out from the shoulder. We'll just let the head rest down for a moment. And we're going to put the top hand on the bottom hand. We just want to adjust so we can allow the head to release for a moment. Now, when we're ready, this top hand's going to slide up the bottom arm. Keep the knees lightly pressed together. Bring the hand up the arm across the chest and allow this motion to move the upper body, the head and the neck. And it's simply this movement of the upper arm. And then back down as we're ready. Across the chest, down the arm. And maybe slide that top palm out a little further. So a movement slow enough that we allow the head and the neck to be moved, and they don't have to try to keep up. Nice and slow. So when you finish the one you're doing, just pause for a moment, that top hand sliding out across that lower hand. Let's come to a place where you can release the neck here. We're going to do two more as that top arm comes in, slides across the lower arm. At some point, we're going to let that upper arm float up into the air. And keep a gentle curve through that upper arm. Bring it up and have that feeling of that upper hand being above the upper shoulder. And then let the shoulder and the arm move a little further to the side. And then returning, have a feeling of reaching through your fingertips as you come back. Allow that upper arm, upper hand to touch down when you're ready and slide it out. Slide a bit further. And we'll do that one more time. returning as we're ready to. And then whenever we finish, an upper hand sliding across that lower hand. Find a place so you can pause. Let the head and neck release. Okay, let's bring that upper hand in a little bit. Draw it to a place where you can use it to press onto the mat. So bring that upper hand flat, push down so you can pull that lower arm out. And we're going to turn towards the mat. So we've got the forearms having some weight. And then when we get our upper body in this position, we're going to change the lower body. So the top leg, we're going to take down straight, right? Just lengthen the top leg. We want to keep the top hip above the bottom hip. And this lower knee straight out from the hip, lower foot straight down from the knee. And again, the forearms flat. So energize the feet. Find that edge of the foot that presses on the mat, connect to it. And then start to work with the core body. We're going to turn our core body toward the mat. Got energy down the top leg. And we're going to slide the forearms out further. So we don't want the ribs to touch, but the ribs will definitely come closer. And we're going to work with the top arm. As you're ready to, push it sideways and forward so the arm straightens, bend the wrist, rotate the arm so we touch onto the outside edge of the palm, that knife edge, push out a bit further, tuck the chin, lengthen the neck, lengthen the spine, press the hips back gently, tuck the tailbone. Stay in touch with the edges of the feet. And you're going to find a deep stretch all the way down this top side. Okay, let's release. So let's pull that top arm in. So it'll be on the forearms. Walk the forearms in a bit. Release the top leg and let it slide up. The lower leg, bend the knee a bit. Rest the top leg on the bottom leg. Just position things so all the joints are comfortable. And then spread the elbows. So again, we're turning the chest toward the mat, but now we're going to let the chest sink down, elbows spread to the side, fingers, hands close, and we're going to position our hands so when we turn the head and look to that opposite elbow, we've got a comfortable support for that side of the head. So initially, we just want to release here, find a position where we're comfortable through our legs in the hips. And then lift the chest up a bit and see if you can turn the chest a little more away from the legs to the opposite side. And we're looking at that opposite elbow, and then we're going to sink the ribs down again. Okay, we're going to leave this position. So initially, bring the head back to neutral. Let's lift the head, position the arms so we can come up a little bit. We're going to do one more thing on this side. So we just want to come up a bit so we can reposition. This lower arm, send it straight out and come down and rest the head on the lower arm bring the knees on top of each other again. Have the knees come straight out from the hips and the feet straight below the knees. The upper arm, wrap the fingers around that lower ear. Now move the hips down, that little bit of tuck to the tailbone, move that top elbow up. And work a bit here with the core from the inside. When we're ready to breathe in, we're going to lift the head, have that upper arm help, and lift that top foot, keeping the knees touching. We'll keep the face to the side, but have the eyes look for that top foot. If you can lift a fraction higher, but don't engage that lower shoulder blade. And then let's release the head down. We're going to repeat at our own timing. Don't stay up longer than feels appropriate for this right now. If you can move the eyes without rotating the head, moving the face, releasing to come down and inhaling to come up. And then whenever we come down, there's our last one. So once we've released from that last one, we'll just roll onto our back body. Just taking a moment here. Feel the difference? There may not be any. There may be a difference between the two sides of the body. And just explore the difference in the upper body by taking the arms straight out from the shoulders, bending the elbows where they can go, and just releasing them. Again, experiencing the sensations. There may be a difference. Doesn't matter. Now let's change sides. So coming over onto the other side of the body, once we're there, positioning shoulders and hips in one line, the knees out from the hips, the feet down from the knees, and the lower arm straight out from our shoulder. So you can let the head rest for a moment, top hand resting on the lower. Maybe slide that hand out a little bit, letting the head naturally rotate. And then let's bring that top hand up the lower arm. Let the elbow bend. Let the head be turned by this movement of the arm. Releasing the neck here, the head. Doing the work by moving the upper arm. As we're ready to, coming back across and down. Maybe slide out a bit further. And we're just flowing smoothly. Slow enough that the head and the neck are comfortable being moved by the upper arm motion. And we're going to do a total of 3 of these. And we're going to pause after our third one. Give the head and neck a chance to release down. And then we're going to do two more. And on these two, we lift the upper arm. When we're ready to float that upper arm, as that natural bend all the way through the arm, bring the hand roughly over the shoulder and allow that whole unit to move a bit further to the side. Smoothly, slowly, so the head and neck can naturally be moved. And as we come back, have the energy go all the way out to the fingertips, reaching through the fingertips as the arm returns. Allow the head to naturally turn. We've got two to do. Whenever we're finished, slide that top hand a little further. Allow the head and neck to release here. And then we're going to change our position. We want to place that top hand. We can press on the palm, lift ourselves up a bit to release the lower arm. And we're going to come onto both forearms, turning the chest toward the mat. And then we're going to stretch that top leg straight down from the hips. So just a little bit of adjusting where we keep the top hip above the lower hip rather than push the leg down. So keeping the hips one above the other, keeping that right angle in that lower leg, turning the chest toward the mat. And as we're ready to slide the forearms out a bit further, so the chest comes a bit lower, but keep the ribs from touching. Now find the outside edges of the feet, those edges that touch the ground. Make a bit of contact there. And then the top arm, push it forward out to the side a bit so the arm straightens. Bend the wrist, rotate the arm into the shoulder, find that knife edge of the hand, slide it just a little further. And then work with the rotation in the core body here, lengthening the neck. Keeping the tailbone a little tucked. It's easy to lose the tailbone. So we're looking to lengthen at the back of the waist rather than have the back of the waist move downward toward the mat. Now we're going to release, so let's pull that upper arm in, soften the legs. The top knee slips down a little bit, or sorry, the bottom knee slips down a little bit, the top knee pulls up. So find a place to rest the feet one on top of each other, and then take the elbows wide, bring the hands together. So we're going to turn the head away from the knees, and then we're going to place the head down on the backs of the hands or onto fists, however we want to use our hands. What we want is the place where the head can relax here. We really don't want to be trying to lift our head. We want to put it down, have it turned away, and then use our hands to support the head. And we'd like to let the legs relax. We need a placement of the legs so they're not struggling. Now let's lift the head and the chest just up a bit, and then see if we can turn the ribs just a little more towards that opposite side. Put the head down again. And let's leave the place. So lifting the head, come up a little bit, reposition the lower arm, send it straight up in line with the torso, and let the head rest on the lower arm. Bring the knees on top of each other. And again, the knees straight out from the hips. And we're going to use the upper arm, bend the elbow, slip the fingers around the lower ear. Now move the hips down a little bit, take that tuck in the tailbone. All these are small movements. Reach out with that upper elbow. And when you're ready with an inhale, we're going to lift the head, lift that top foot, face stays to the side, but the eyes look for the foot, and see if you can create a tiny bit more lift here. And then releasing down as you're ready. So we're going to inhale up as we're ready to. And we'll do our last one. Coming onto our back body. We'll have our knees bent. Place the arms where you'd like. If you want to explore the shoulder blades, the elbows out from the shoulders, the elbows bent. Whatever position we have the arms in, make an effort to let go in the shoulder blades. Now let's leave this position. We're going to roll to the side and then pressing up. Let's come seated and bring the legs forward, about hips width apart. Knees are lifted. And then just rubbing down the shins. So this is a light touch. So rubbing down, rubbing the muscles, rubbing all the way back up, reaching down where you can, light touch, rubbing up. So this is moving lymph fluid. So truly it's a light touch, right? A pressing hand won't really work. It's a stroking motion, and it literally helps the lymph flow from the legs back up into the torso. If it's comfortable, reaching down the tops of the feet, and reposition the legs so that's possible. And run the hands all the way up. You can even run up onto the sides, around the low back. Okay, and we'll just bring the hands low. And as we're ready to, we're going to take the arms underneath the thighs. So palms are down. Let the back hang forward and relax the shoulders and the shoulder blades. Once you've done that, start to move the feet out. And once the thighs come in contact with the forearms, once there's weight there, check the shoulder blades again. And then potentially add a bit more weight. And lifting the knees, slide the hands out. Move the hands back behind the hips, pull the legs in, and just ease the knees side to side. Allow the hips to move, allow the low back to turn. And then when we drop our knees to the right, let's bring that left hand over, put the hands around the right leg somewhere comfortable, and just melt down. And an in-breath to come up. We'll do the same on the left side. And we'll repeat once more for each side. Now, at some point, we're back at the right, and rather than melt down, we're going to take that left arm and sweep it out and up and reach out in the fingertips. But rather than look up at the hands, lengthen on the neck and look down at that right knee. See if you can sink the tailbone downward, let the hips release downward as we press up through that upper arm. And let's do the same thing on the other side. And then we'll go back to the right, and that left arm, rather than reaching up, bend the elbow, touch the left fingertips on the right shoulder, and then send that left elbow round more to the right. And then releasing. Same thing, going to the left, right fingertips touching the left shoulder, right elbow leading around a bit further. And then coming back to the right. Fingertips. And then release back to the center. Bring the weight back into a neutral place where you can get the arms off the ground. And then push out through the palms. So come neutral. So roughly shoulders between the knees where it works for us, rotating, pressing forward so you can get a little bit of tuck to the tailbone. And then from here, turn the upper body round toward the left. So just where it's natural to go. See if we can keep the tailbone feeling dropped, even though we're lengthening up. And then releasing the arms. So of relaxing, we'll go to a neutral place, and from there, we'll switch sides. And then once we've changed sides, right fingertips touching left shoulder, rotating, reaching with the elbow, and then softening into neutral. So just a natural place between the legs, reach out the arms, rotate, pushing forward. So that little bit of tuck at our tailbone. And then from there, rotating toward the right, just where it's comfortable. And then releasing. So we naturally come to a neutral place. The hands go behind. We'll bring the legs up and move them forward. We're going to bring our arms forward underneath our thighs, giving the back a chance to let go. And then lifting the knees again. Let's get the hands out. Let's take the legs apart. And just give ourselves a moment. We've got energy down our legs. Feel the weight in the sit bones. See if we can add a bit of weight to our sit bones and see if we can tip the tailbone just the tiniest amount and lengthen up the back body from there. And then right hand, touch the fingertips behind, and left hand, reach across toward the right leg. Now feel the weight in the sit bones. As we melt forward, that left sit bone is going to start to lose weight. But rather than lift it from the inside, it's going to lose weight. But see from the inside if we can get a feeling of dropping it down. And just melting toward that right leg. Okay, let's switch sides. So inhaling up. And as we're ready, changing the arms. So feel into that right sit bone. It will lose some weight, but from the inside, we want to see if we can help it sink downward. Okay, inhale, we'll come into the center. And this time we'll just float the arms up, send that weight into the hips. When you're ready for your exhale, reach forward, touch anywhere that's comfortable, just adjusting. And we have some energy in the arms, but we're not trying to pull forward. Really just move the shoulder blades away from the spine. Reach out along the spine, out along the neck. And then when you breathe in, lift the right arm up into the air, lean over to the left and bring that right arm over to the left and finish that exhale at the side. For the inhale, we'll send the right arm up and over, have the left arm follow, exhaling, and just finding a nice tempo for ourselves. We get to either side. We want to finish that exhale and have that moment of letting go at the side. Now, when you get to a side, doesn't matter which one, but when you're there, just stay for a few extra breaths. And let's switch. And we'll use an inhale to bring ourselves back up. And then we'll lift the knees, bring the legs closer, and we'll slide forward. And let's bring the knees up so we can get our hands out. And now let's come onto our back. So once we're on the ground, we'll bring the knees in. The hands will hold the knees, move the knees wide toward the shoulders. And then bring the heels up about knee height. Now energize the legs so we don't need the hands. So knees are spread, knees pulling toward the shoulders, but positioned so the sacrum is flat. And extend the neck, looking down the top side of the body. And then take the arms straight for the ceiling. Rotate both arms, pushing up. Feel the shoulders lift up. And then bring the arms by the ears and push out through the palms. So we're going to move the shoulders up, see if we can lengthen the neck, looking downward, and allow the ribs to sink in the mat. And then relax the legs, touch the outside edges of the feet on the mat, keep the knees wide, keep working with the sacrum. So adding a bit of contact with the edges of the feet, a little bit of tuck at the tailbone, make a connection at the sacrum, lengthen the neck, look down at the ribs. And then relax the arms, take them out from the shoulders, rest the arms on the ground. And then just try for a couple of breaths, bending the elbows, see if we can let our shoulder blades relax. And then scraping down the edges of the feet, we're going to slowly extend the legs. So we can let go in the legs and keep the arms here for a breath or two, letting go in the shoulder blades. And then lengthen the arms and drag them down below shoulder height, letting them rest in the mat. So releasing the body. having the attention on the breath. And let's move again in our fingers and our toes, moving in our ankles, in our wrists, and reaching out in the arms, stretching down the legs.